All right, I'm gonna start recording. So, I'm just gonna go over like my experiences in the past. I'm gonna start with my story about Summit. The first year, so I've actually been a coach. My 8-year anniversary was like yesterday. I thought I was a coach for 7 years, but I've been a coach for 8 years. But the first year, I didn't really work the business too much. It wasn't until I went to my very first summit that I started consistently putting time into the business because I didn't understand that this was an MLM when I joined. So I didn't know what that was. Like MLMs weren't that popular. I didn't know what the business model was. I just knew that I loved insanity and I got great results and I lost a lot of weight and people at work were noticing and they were asking me what I was doing. And I was like signing them up, teaching them how to like get insanity. And my coach kept saying, you should be a coach. You should be a coach. And I was like, nah, I don't want to sell like I'm a nurse anesthetist. I make a really good living. I'm like, I just graduated from anesthesia school. I'm not interested in coaching, but I was already posting on social media, on Facebook and all that stuff. Like I'm doing my insanity workout. So the events to me are huge for building belief in yourself, building belief in your team, like passing that on to everyone, clients, Super Saturdays, Summit, getting to the Success Club trip. If you get to leadership, which is you have to be a 5-star diamond and above to get invited, and then you have to meet these certain requirements to get it paid for. Leadership is by far my favorite event because it's only like 200 people attend plus guests. So it's very intimate and small, and you get to meet the corporate team. Like you get to hang out with Carl and Kim and all the people, and at the gatherings, like the parties, you get to meet like Shanti and all that stuff. So events can just inspire. I mean, that's how I ended up working out live on stage with Shanti in Miami because I met him at the Success Club trip. I went up to him because he was during that muster drill, when you put the like thing on and like the cruise and you go up, our table was right next to like Sean and his husband. And so we went over to him and Joanne's like, oh my God, I want to tell him about my results. And so we went over and he was like, you look really familiar to me. And I'm like, well, I was in the Insanity infomercial. He's like, that's what it is. Cause I guess like he watched it and, decided the final cuts on the infomercial. And he's like, yeah, you were like a swimmer or something. He like remembered like my story. So after that, I saw him a bunch of times and I would always, Marissa, making sure he knew who I was. And then I ran into him at leadership at one of the like parties where, it's very intimate. And he was like, do you want to work out live with me on stage in Miami? And I was like, fuck yeah. So he was here for some other drink that he was promoting. It wasn't a Beachbody thing, but I got to work out live and that was like an amazing experience. So like events can create opportunities for people that you just can't have when we're home by ourselves and we're just, having these meetings. So I really, really believe in events. I'm going to share that my first event, my first Super Saturday that I went to, I don't even know if it was a Super Saturday, actually. It was Shanti was working out live in Fort Lauderdale and my coach had been asking me for 8 months to be a coach and I kept saying no. And I went to that event, of course, because I'd been working out to Shanti in my living room for 8 months. I'm like, I'm going. So I attended and I was like, we got to take pictures with him. And this was before even like he was so big because, Beachbody wasn't as popular back then 8 years ago. And I got to, meet him and was just like, this is amazing. And of course, during that event, a lot of coaches went on stage and shared their stories of weight loss and their coaching and how they were building this business. And of course, I didn't realize my coach was like trying to get me to sign up to be a coach. I just went because I wanted to go do the workout. I had no interest in coaching. And after the event, I was like, holy shit, this is like a real opportunity to help people and like build a business that at the time I was realizing that I was going to get burned out in anesthesia. I knew that I could not do this 40 hours a week full time for the rest of my life. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm really passionate about fitness. I've always been passionate about fitness. I actually was going to become a physical therapist before I decided on nursing school because I wanted to work with like sports injuries, like post-injury recovery and work with like athletes. That was my passion. Like I loved sports. I was a swimmer, I was a runner, I did, triathlons, whatever. So after that event, I was like, my coach really never did anything with the business. Just so you know, she's not even like an emerald coach. Like she's just sitting there with one leg of like massive volume from all the volume that's just carrying over. Like she probably has 1 million ATV in that one leg that she just doesn't ever, cycle on. Like at one point I was like, I wish I could just take over her center because then I'd have a strong leg and then I could, just build one leg instead of two. And we since haven't really, we kind of lost touch. We were acquaintances back then, but I told her, I want to sit down with like the person that signed you up. I want someone who's like making money in this business. I want to sit down with them. And I talked to them and they sat me down and they're like, well, this is what you have to do. They told me that I had to drink Shakeology, which I didn't listen for like 6 months. I didn't drink Shakeology. I was just doing like the insanity workout and just trying to sell programs. But that event was really what inspired me to sit down at that meeting and actually sign up to be a coach. It was a, live workout with Shanti. So that was in July. I just missed Summit that year. Like it just had finished. And so everyone was back and I, whatever. So I kept hearing about Summit all year until the following June or July when it was. And back then it was in Vegas. And I sat down with Milan and Kevin Jensen, who I don't know if you know Milan. She's in our team page. And she's the leader of Team Genesis, which we are a part of. She's the very first coach in the network. She sat down at the founders meeting with Carl and was invited to be a coach and the very first coach in this opportunity. Well, she's like, so my coach is Anna. And then there's Pablo and Fernanda Brisson, who were the people that I had the meeting with that were local in Miami that told me how to, make this business work. And then Milan and Kevin were above them. So at Summit that year, I don't think maybe Fernanda and Pablo were there. I don't remember, but they kind of started doing other things. They really weren't doing Beachbody. My coach, Anna, never went to Summit. So I got introduced to Milan and Kevin because it's like, well, they were my link to like, here's people that are actually in the business, working the business. They were like my first link, So I got to sit with them at lunch and they bought us all lunch. And at the time I was dating my ex-partner and he went with me and they bought us all lunch. We sat down and I was just like, on fire, like asking them a million questions. I was like, well, how do you do this? And blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, if I have the opportunity to sit there and talk to the founders of this company, I'm going to pick their brains. Like, I'm going to learn as much as I can from them. And I remember Kevin being like, you're such a firecracker because you just like were firing questions at us like nonstop. And I'm like, dude, it's opportunity. So my suggestion to you is if you're at Summit and you're sitting with people who are successful in the business or who you connect with, exchange phone numbers, like, make connections outside of our team because those connections are truly what helped me grow this business much more than just being a part of Team Genesis. Liz Poyne actually was a girl that was building locally and she has actually Amy Silverman is one of her sponsored coaches and her downline. So Liz, again, she's like the type of person that you don't hear anything about Liz. Like she's not in the limelight, but she's very successful in the business. I think she's gone on to do other things too, but she still, has her coaches and whatever, but she sponsored Amy Silverman. So she's got like a huge downline. And she's part of Barbie Kalev's downline too. She was sponsored by Barbie Kalev, which used to be Barbie Decker. But anyway, we used to drive to Tampa for Super Saturdays, which is 5 hours away because they didn't have Super Saturdays in Miami. They just didn't sponsor them. And those times that we drove together, when we would sit in the car and I would just like pick her brain, because she was in a team that was really successful. And at that time, I didn't have the link to Milan and Kevin. And I remember being like, how are you like hitting Success Club every month? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you saying? And she told me the 5-step process, which was a process of like asking a lot of questions. If you haven't seen it in the Coach Online office, it's like step 1 is inviting. Step 2 is like asking about goals. Step 3 is sharing a third-party tool or something. Step 4 is giving them the details. And step 5 is enrolling. And there's samples of scripts. So I just started using those scripts and I was like signing people up and hitting Success Club. I'm like, holy crap, this thing works. And I'd heard about the 5-step process a million times. I'm like, that doesn't work. That's bullshit scripts. I'm not using scripts. And then when I was confirmed that this girl was hitting Success Club every month and she was using them, I'm like, all right. So like events, that meeting, that one little conversation, that little teeny tiny tip that she gave me, like changed the course of my business. That was the very first month I hit Success Club after like we took those trips together because I started using the 5-step process and listening to what she was saying. So my point is that every chance that you get, if you're with someone, they have something to teach you and you probably have something to teach them. So, take that opportunity, ask as many questions as you can, form bonds, form connections, exchange numbers, whatever. And for those of you that I know that some of you can't attend this year, this is for future. It will be, I mean, you're going to be there one day. So this is just setting you up. All these little tidbits are pieces of information that you can use for following years. So now, as far as the summit, the actual experience at summit, it's, for me, I'm going to share honestly, it's overwhelming. There are so many people in such a small like area. Everyone's just moving around like in the city. It's like the Beachbody takeover of the city. And it was actually easier when it was in Vegas because it was just in the hotel. What's the green hotel? I can't remember the name of the hotel, but it was like all inside the one hotel. So there was a lot of people, but you didn't have to even leave literally, I didn't even leave the hotel because it's like, it was like class after class after class. Well, now that it's spread out because we got too big for Vegas, we outgrew the venue. Now that it's spread out in the city, it's like you're, trying to figure out where you're going. You're not familiar with the city. There's people everywhere. So obviously you can always ask, other people where to go or whatever. And tag along with other people and do things. But here's what I'm going to tell you is that there's a lot of information that's going to be thrown at you. You're going to be sitting in rooms, having successful top coaches teaching you tons of information. I got like on overload. And so just know that overwhelm is going to be something that you're going to experience. Maybe not, but for me, I feel like it has been every single year because it's just a lot to sit there and listen to people talking to you and then all the people around. And then there's like parties at night and there's workouts in the morning. So you're probably not going to be able to do every single thing. And my suggestion and advice is don't feel bad about that. Don't make yourself wrong if you skip like a workout or if you skip, a session and you go and like you need to, take a break or whatever. Because me personally, my mental health is more important than making it to every single thing. I've learned that. And every year, like for the first couple of years, I would get sick when I got home because I would literally from like sun up to sundown, just go, 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 go. And if that's how you want to experience it, by all means, experience it that way. But what I've learned for myself is if I take some breaks, sometimes I might have to skip like one session or something. And I'd always feel like so guilty, like, oh no, I'm going to miss this information. Number one, they're probably going to record all the talks and they'll have them posted in the Coach Online office or on YouTube or whatever afterwards. The things that I would recommend for sure getting to are like the big general sessions, like Rachel Hollis. Those are going to be the more, I think, belief building and inspiring things to attend. Like those are, so it also depends on where you are in your business. If you need belief instilled in you and you want that like fire lit again, because I feel like we have to keep relighting that fire all the time because this business is hard. Like it's challenging. You're busy. We're, moms, you work full time. I've got my animals. I've got another job. We're busy, right? So fitting it in is challenging. So I think we need to like refuel that fire to like fall in love with the business. And that's what Summit will do for you. And those general sessions are the ones that I think will really like light that fire. And then the smaller like coach-led sessions, those are where you're going to get the nitty gritty. Like, here's how you actually build this business. Like, here's the details. Like, here's what you need to do, where you're going to want to take notes and you can go back and you can apply things that you learned. That being said, you're going to learn a lot. So don't be like either, because this is me too. I'm speaking from experience. I was like, squirrel, like everything I learned, I'm like, I have to do all of this. Like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to just implement every single thing into my business. Cause that's the type of person that I am. I'm like it's Ruby, like super, like all over the place and not like organized and like, I'm getting better at it. So my recommendation is think about maybe one or two things that you think are going to be helpful for you and your business. And then implement those when you get back versus trying to like do 20 million things that you're getting from other coaches. And that's not going to end up working out for you. Just speaking from experience. Cause we just can't bite off more than we can chew. Right. We're what is it that saying? Like we grossly overestimate what we can do in a day and grossly underestimate what we can do in a year. So it's like spread out the goals. Like, okay, this is what my 3, 6, 9, 12 month plan is going to look like, so that how you're going to attack like your business and how you're going to make it better and improve it from your experience. Me personally, my like summit experience now, because I feel like, yes, I'm going to learn new things. I'm going to take little bits of, I'm going to get some aha moments and take little tidbits of information. I'm going to get my fire relit into my business and come back motivated and inspired and wanting to share the opportunity, just like at Super Saturdays and all these other trips that we take. But my like love for Summit is those small group, like one-on-one conversations, because that's just the type of person that I am. So I am like super excited to like be in the house with you ladies, and like maybe at night we'll come home, we'll have a glass of wine, like we'll hang out, we'll get to chat, like girl time. So my intention is to try to spend a little bit of one-on-one time with every single person on our team, because I know Stephanie Kathman is not going to be able to make the photo shoot and the lunch now, because like they're selling the Cumberland house that they go to for summer. Her in-laws are selling it, and so it's like the last summer that they get to spend there, and John's day off is Thursday. So I'm kind of representing Stephanie. I told her, well, tell me who your coaches are, tell me about them, the ones that I don't know, if people are coming, because I don't really know Matilda and I don't know Allison. I mean, I just seen them post, and Yvette I think is coming too, and I don't like, I'll make a point to like, talk to them and get to know them, because I want to do that. That's where I thrive, like the one-on-one, like connections, and having those like deep, moments where you just get to really look into somebody's eyes and be in person and not on the computer, and have an experience where you get to know them and you get to have, an interaction with them. So I would even encourage you, if you have an opportunity to like really get to know your team or someone that you really connect with at Summit, maybe on another team, if you have a chance to like sit with them at lunch and just hang out and chat and get to know each other and build that bond, do that. And sometimes even maybe at the expense of like rushing to get on time to a talk, because the relationships to me are the number one most important thing. And I didn't learn that in my first couple of years. In my first couple of years, I was like, no, I need to get all the information, because I wanted to be successful. So I was like, I got to absorb everything. Like I need to learn. And what I didn't realize is like, yes, learning is important, but the relationships are always first. So I would always like go to the class and sit there and be taking notes at the expense of like actually building relationships. So I learned for myself, if I'm going to skip anything, it's probably going to be a talk. And then I'd rather be able to like have the energy to hang out at night and go to dinner, or, go to the Success Club party or whatever. I didn't win any of the parties. Did anybody win any parties? Did you guys win parties? I didn't. All right. I think Stephanie won it, Kathman, but I don't think she's even going to go. I think she's going to like give it away or something. And so that's really my best tips about Summit. Does anybody have questions? Did I miss anything? Is there like something that I didn't cover that you feel like is important?
I know I'm not going this year, but next year I really want to go. Is it going to be in the same area, like, or is it in a different place?
They have not announced the 2020 location yet.
Okay, I didn't know if it was the place this year.
Yeah, they do. They usually, the way these corporate events work is that they'll book a city, and if they book for 2 to 3 years in one city, they get like a better deal or something. So like, I think we were in Vegas for 2 years, and then we were in New Orleans, I think, for 2 years, and then Nashville for 2 years. And this will be the second year in Indiana.
Okay.
So it might not be Indiana. It might be another city. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
So did we talk about like what to pack, or like if you are there carrying around a backpack, are you going to have a place to like set your stuff? Like how do you pack? Like pack light, bring like nothing to carry, or can you bring something and have a place to put your stuff?
Okay, that's a great question. And I was like, I should talk about what to bring. I would bring, of course, workout clothes, like what to pack. I mean, normal things that you would pack on a trip, but you want to have like workout clothes, and then something comfortable to wear. Don't dress up for the talks. Like wear comfortable shoes, because you're going to do a lot of walking. If you want to dress up, no problem, but wear flats or something that you can walk in, because it's tons of walking. And I learned that 1 year too. I was like, oh, wearing my wedges, walking around, and then your feet hurt. So workouts, workout clothes, talks, something comfortable and layered, because you're going to be outside. It's going to be hot. You're going to be walking around, then you're going to be indoors, and you're going to be cold because it's freezing. It's like AC, As far as what to bring to the talks, if you're going to take notes on your computer, you could do that. You could bring your computer, or you can bring just a notebook. And I would try to, travel with like a small bag. I would try not to have like a huge thing that you're carrying around, lugging around with you, because the rooms are like, chairs right next to each other, and they're big, rooms, but you're not going to have a lot of space in your little area to have stuff. So I probably won't bring a purse. Like I'll just bring my little handbook, thing with like credit card, phone. I'll probably actually bring my computer because I can type faster than I can write. So I'll probably type notes on my computer. Or an iPad would work too. If you have I have my little iPad with the keyboard that I brought one year, because then I can still type on the iPad. That's pretty much. And then water, they usually had, from what I remember, I think they had water stations where you could fill up a water bottle. So if you brought like a reusable bottle, you could fill it up at the water stations. That might have been the Success Club trip, but I feel like they had water around. And then there's going to be lines for coffee. Like if there's a Starbucks or if there's a coffee shop in the city and you want to get coffee, there's going to be lines out the door. I would usually bring some little snacks in my bag, because I like to eat. I get hangry, so I like having something to like munch on throughout the day. Healthy things, whatever. And then since we have the house, we can go, when we get there, I was thinking about going grocery shopping and just getting like a couple things to have in the house, like, to be able to like, whatever, have something at night, have something healthy, maybe make a sandwich or something. I don't know, just to have things around. There isn't a lot of time in between. You'll see, it's like you're back to back. Like there's not a ton of time, like breaks. Like that's one thing that I wrote feedback to them, is like, we don't get enough breaks. We don't get enough like time in between. It's like you're rushing around from place to place. So packing everything you're going to need in the morning for the day is probably the best bet, because you're probably not going to want to go back to the house. Like you're probably just going to be like out and about all day. That's pretty much it. And then as far as like restaurants, if you want to like dress up at night and we go out to dinner, or stay in, whatever, but maybe we'll want to go out to like a nice dinner one night and get dressed up. So I'd bring something for that. And then for like the sessions, like at the stadium, I'd probably wear something. Well, maybe, you could wear whatever you want, just comfortable shoes. You're probably going to want to dress up a little bit, just to make sure your shoes are comfortable. Because like I said, a lot of walking. Does that answer it? Did I miss anything? Does that cover it all? I bought a new outfit for the photo shoot, and I like rush shipped it. I hope it's cute. I'll post it in the team page. It's like this yellow like skirt, maxi skirt that goes like up high, and then like a halter white top. It's like yellow and white flowers. But I ordered it on some like Facebook, sponsored ad. And every time I've ordered those, they've turned out not to be nice. But this one had like good reviews. Everyone was like, I love it. It's so nice, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, I paid $20 for rush shipping to get it here on time. So I'm really hoping that it comes, because it's coming from China. And I hope it's cute.
For the photo shoot, if we're coming to that, is there a certain thing that we have to wear for that to be all?
I'm thinking like to dress cute, like dress up, because these are going to be pictures that you're going to use for marketing, like you're going to probably, when you share about your team and getting together and what we do, obviously, that sharing about us being like a tribe and community, and you just not doing this on your own, is a big part of attracting people to do what we do. So these photos, I'm planning on having them to be able to use for like the rest of the year when I talk about the team or whatever. I
know. I think some people, they like, do you want us to color coordinate, or no, that's not an issue? I know some people like wear all red, or they wear, I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you want that or no?
No, I'm like, I want people to wear what they want to wear. We could try that another time, but like, we don't have Team Aloha is not, I have pink and purple as like my branding colors. But obviously I'm not going to have people wearing pink and purple. Some people don't like those colors. And I just think it's just going to be whatever. Like, it's fun. I don't think we need to be coordinated. Like the Bombshell Dynasty is like bombshell blue, and they all wear blue. And then like, Diesel Nation is they all wear red, and they're like, who those people are. But we are going to have, I did buy everyone that's coming tanks, Team Aloha tanks that we can wear one day together. They're yellow, and they have like, I think I showed them to you guys. So you should be getting here soon, hopefully. they're not here yet. Milan ordered them for me because she was getting a bunch anyway. And so I just, paid her and had her place the order with her team so that we could get a discount on them. But maybe we could coordinate wearing those one day. Like maybe we could wear those to like the opening general session the first night or something, if I can get them to everyone. Well, actually Stephanie won't be there, but I don't know. I'm not a super good planner with those things like match. I just feel like wear what you want and it's going to be cute. I'm going to dress up.
So like the first session is on Thursday night. That's the first
opening general session is Thursday night. Oh, there's an app. So you got to get the event app. I forget what it's called. TBB events. And that's going to tell you, and you will start getting notifications like when it comes around towards Summit. It's going to show you who's the speakers and where you're supposed to go and the schedule. And that will have the, like all that. But yes, definitely Thursday night is the first opening general session. So you can check in. I think you check in and get like a wristband and stuff. So you go to like the check-in, you're going to get a wristband and probably like a bag of like things like Emerald Coach, to put on like your badge or whatever, like your name tag and things like that. And then what's on Thursday? Actually, the sessions start on how couples work. The coaching business session starts at 2:00, and then the how men work the coaching business starts at 3:30, which I don't think we don't have any guys going. There's a fixate book signing by Autumn from 4 to 5, and then there's the morning meltdown workout at 5. So we'll be in the photo shoot in the lunch during that, but the open general session starts at 7:45. So I was going to try to see if we could meet somewhere, have someone have the team meet at a location before, just to go in together and go a little bit early, because then we can sit together, in the opening general session. Because at least for that, we can be together. I don't know about the rest of the time, but that would be cool to at least get everyone together for that.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm a little overwhelmed knowing that we're going to separate. I don't, just being in a city and just navigating by myself. I'm a little nervous.
Don't worry.
We'll be together.
Myself, so it's okay. I'll be looking for a partner.
I know we'll be together because we'll be like coming from the house and
right. That's what I'm hoping we can travel to and from together. If we have to Uber there or whatever. I don't know if it's in walking distance to the house or whatever, but if we can travel together there and back home.
Yeah, no, I would love to do that. That's why I'm like most excited about like our house. Like I'm so it's going to be so fun.
So am I. I was actually there. I'm like, I can't wait to get with them. I'm going to pick their brains. I mean, everything that you're saying, I'm like, I'm going to ask them all of these questions. I'm so, just totally thinking I'm more excited about just the one-on-one and being able to, get to know each other and learn. And
I know. It's going to be awesome. I'm really pumped about it. Like I'm very excited about Summit this year. So yeah, my plan would be like, if we can travel together, like go, I have that morning meltdown workout at 5. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. I'm going to see how I feel. And if I don't, I will happily give that ticket to someone that really wants to go do that workout, but you'd only get one. Like you'd have to go by yourself and do the workout. So I'm just going to see how I feel. Cause it's not like, I'm not dying to like go to that right now. It depends on what's going on at that time. So my plan would be that.
So do the days end like at 5 o'clock, it's over, and then the parties you get invited to later on? Like, how does that work? Like, or the sessions are just all different times throughout the day?
Yeah. So you could do something every minute of the day. Like so the opening general session ends at 10:30, which it will. And I think it will be streaming too for the people that aren't there, if you want to watch it from home. And then on Friday. So on Friday we do end at 5:15, and then there's a Diamond Leadership Party and there's a Success Club tailgate, but these are invite only. I didn't get invited. I think the only person on our team that did was Stephanie Kaufman. So we could plan like a dinner that night if you want to, do like just a dinner with just us or whatever. Check out something in the city. I don't know. Like I'd rather do that, because the parties, it's like you're with these people all day, every day. Like, why do you need to go? I'm actually kind of like glad I didn't win. A couple years ago when I went, I just gave my tickets to another coach that was like a young, new coach and was all excited about the parties. I'm like, here, take them, you go. because I didn't want to go. And then on Saturday, the celebration is like the last, that's like where they do the tons of recognition is the last evening, and that ends at 10:32. So, and there's nothing after that, I don't think. So we could always, you know, do something that night too. Maybe if we don't want to see a bunch of people being recognized on stage. I mean, I think it's cool. They do like the Beachbody challenge winner, which is really fun because you get to see all the, like, you get to see the stories of the challengers and how much weight they've lost. And those stories are incredibly inspiring. But there's, if it's the same as it's been, there's a ton of recognition the last night, like elite, Success Club All-Star legends and all that. And everyone's like, you know, walking across the stage, which I think is inspiring, but you know, it's like, how long do you need to watch them being recognized before you get the point of like, you're inspired and you can go back and do this too, you know? So we'll just wing it. I mean, we'll just see how we feel, you know? I mean, like I said, my intention is to spend time like with one-on-one and like in smaller groups and really connect, you know, in person. So that's more important to me than like making it to everything. So any other questions or shares? I'm sorry you won't be able to come, Diana, Christine, and Stephanie. I wish you guys were coming. I hope you can come next year.
I will be.
Okay, good.
I know. I was sitting here, I was like, I am so excited for them. Like, even my palms are sweating. I keep having to wipe them off on a napkin. I'm so excited for y'all. I want to go so bad.
Well, next year.
Yep. Yes.
Well, all right then. I guess we will call this a day. I'm taking my little sister to Sky Zone. It's like a trampoline park thing, and she's 10. And then a friend of mine, a nurse that's a friend of mine from work, he's a single father, crazy enough, has a 5-year-old, and we're gonna meet there, and the two of them are gonna meet, like Aubrey and Bianca. And so hopefully it'll be fun. This is the first time we've done like an event where we've like got to hang out with another kid and another person. So I'm excited about it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. I've been there before, and it's like, it's fun. I mean, when my ex-boyfriend had a daughter, so we went there before. So I've been there. But all right, ladies. Well, I will see you guys in less than a week. All right.
See ya.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.